Next up, we have depreciation. This is for line number 13, and this is also for something called Section 179 expense deductions. Ultimately, a deduction that is depreciated or is a Section 179 expense deduction can kind of be the same thing, but the difference here is when you are taking that entire amount as a deduction. With depreciated property, what you're doing here is figuring out what type of lifespan the IRS assigns to that type of property. Certain things like computers, for example, will have a 5-year depreciation rate on it. So you can actually take, instead of that entire cost being deducted all at one time, a portion of it is taken for each of the next 5 years. Now, if you are not profitable yet, if you're not generating income with your marketing business, then anything that applies as being property that can be depreciated, you need to file this under depreciation and not as a Section 179 expense. Now, the Section 179 expense, if you are profitable, you can take those expenses and file it as the 179, and this allows you to take the entire purchase price all in one filing year. But they're only going to allow you to do this if you have income directly related to this marketing business and ultimately the expenses that you are taking as that one-time deduction. So ultimately, for people that are not generating an income yet off of their online work, if you have purchased things like office furniture, computers, or cell phones, these are going to be the most common things that would apply to this type of work. These items are going to need to be depreciated, and you'll actually have to fill out a separate form, Form 4562, and on that form you are simply depreciating your assets using this type of table like what you see here, depending on how many years it is going to be depreciated for. And I've also included a link here because there's quite a lot of information on this subject, and it can also be a little confusing as well. So I wanted to direct you to somewhere that you could find out more. So basically, if you have things like furniture, computers, and cell phones that you've purchased for your online marketing business, then go and check out this form and just make sure you are depreciating that property correctly. And then basically you're taking that number and putting it back on this form under line number 13.